Now, if you will hold that donut for just a second. Yeah, you can hold it just the other side, just for a second. Now, this next thing is actually not a game, but an illustration. And what we're going to do, we're going to let this hammer represent making wise choices. Do we need to make the right choices? Yes, we do. We're going to let this donut, you can go ahead and put it right there, let that donut represent sin. Sin, good or bad? Bad. That's right. If you will, if you'll take that right there, move it over there. If you'll take that and move it right over there for me for just a second. We're going to let that donut represent sin. We're going to let this hammer represent making the right choices. We're going to bust up sin on the count of 3. So count with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, right before I hit it, I heard somebody say, that donut looks good. But what you don't understand, and from where you're sitting, it might look good, but there's all kinds of nasty stuff on top of this barrel, or on the bottom of this barrel, and now it's all on that donut. And although that donut looks good from where you're sitting, it's nasty. You know what, boys and girls? A lot of times in life, things look good from a distance, or things look good because we don't see everything around them. The devil, he makes things look good, but it's sin. You know, when you're outside, you might be shooting hoop, or you might be, I don't know, cheering, spirit fingers, or whatever you might be doing. Or maybe you're inside, you're playing the Wii, you know how that goes. And then mom says, hey, it's time to stop and clean your room. Which one looks like more fun, playing the games or cleaning your room? Playing the games, right? But what's the right thing to do? Ephesians 6:1 says, children, obey your parents. Moms and dads, kids aren't the only ones that have a hard time making the right choices, right? You know, when you're late for work and you tell the boss it was because traffic was bad on 98, 49, 59, whatever, and it's really because you hit the alarm clock one too many times, that snooze button, sin is sin. And that donut, we're going to let it represent the sin in our life. We're going to let this, you know what? I was going to let this hammer represent making the right choice. But you know what? We can't make the right choice on our own. We've got to have God's help. And our God's a big God, and this hammer just does not represent how big our God is. And so, Ken, you think you can find me something big? While you're looking, I'm going to give something away, okay? So you keep looking. And while he's looking, I told you guys I was going to give away a free bracelet. And right down here, what's your name? What's your name? Joshua? You have been doing a great job. And so I'm going to give you this bracelet, okay? So there you go. Now, guys, when you see Mr. Ken, you let me know, because he's going to find something big for me, something that represents how big God is. And he's going to, what? What? Oh yeah, this right here will be perfect. Okay, we're going to let this represent how big God is. We're going to bust up sin on the count of 3. So here we go. One, two. Hold on. Some of you in the back couldn't see this donut, so if you'll take that donut and throw it in the trash can, I'm going to get something that everybody can see. It's not a big donut. It's just a big bag of grits. Hey, where are you going? Listen. No, you chose the front seat. The Bible says the first shall be last. Let me see how close I can get it. Well, you just had your hair did? Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. You might want to duck. We're going to let this bag of grits represent the sin in our life. Now listen, guys. I have the chance to go all over the country doing Kidz Blitz. I live in Georgia. I've been, just a couple weeks ago, I was in New Mexico. I was in Oklahoma City last week. A couple years ago, I was up in New York. I went to the store to get my bag of grits. And, you know, you guys are in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You can go to any store around here and find grits. I go to New York, I go to 5 stores, and they don't have a clue what grits are. They say, what are grits? I said, you know, girls raised in the South, you know, grits. But this is what I did. I went in the store, and I said, y'all have any grits? And the lady looked at me, and she said, excuse me? I said, do y'all have any grits? And she said, what? I said, do you guys have any grits? And she said, what are grits? I began to explain to her what grits were, and she said, oh yeah, I know what a grit is. You know what a grit is? Well, this right here is a grit. Right there. There it goes. Did you see it? I'll show you one more time. Look, there's a grit right there. You know, most of you couldn't see it because it's so small. But you know what, boys and girls, moms and dads? That's how we look at our sin. It's so small, nobody will know. It's no big deal. I know that pencil is not mine. I know that it's on somebody else's desk, but if I take it, they won't know. If I argue with my brother and sister, it's no big deal. Everybody argues with their brother or sister. If I disobey my parents, they'll get over it. If we argue in front of our kids, it's okay. They'll get over it. If we don't go to church this week, that's okay. Uh-oh, I'm stepping on toes. My bad. It doesn't matter how small we think our sin is sin. And you say, well, not going to church isn't a sin. The Bible says that if you know to do good and you don't do it, it is sin. And you know what you're supposed to do. In a room like this, can we get some house lights? It's hard for me to see everybody, and I want to see. Let's get these lights down just a little bit, and I want to look, because I want to look at all moms and dads right here. Moms and dads, you could have been in 1,000 different places tonight, but you chose to be here with your kids.